Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, where we're going to just mop up a few miscellaneous items of business. We're getting very close to the release of Cinera 0.7.0. And what we're basically doing here, we're basically finalising the code. Once we've done, and finalising is going to basically consist of the few things I'm going to do today. 3 short things, and then I'm going to look at the notes to see what other bullet points we need to address. And then once we've addressed all the bullet points that we're happy that we're addressing, we'll then need to say that this is it. We're going to test it thoroughly. Make sure that stuff is actually working as we desire it, as we mean it to. And then we're going to finally release it. So the 3 things I'm doing so far, do today, is just fixing up this. This is duplicate stuff. You can sort of see here. This function here is going to be doing exactly the same thing. This push project theme assets does exactly the same thing as this line here. So we're just going to address that. Another thing we're going to do is to respecify the new template tags that we added. So we added the template tag for the HTML, the project's HTML title. We also need to make it. We also need to make the config printer print that thing out. Let's just do that first, actually. So you can actually see it. Do is this a 0? So it just prints out the config. So yeah, I've got the HTML title here on set for that one. But the actual risky one should have it set, yeah. So the HTML title. So basically, we added a template tag, which was project HTML, which would print out the HTML title as opposed to the plain one. I'm going to respecify that to be. I'm going to make the regular project template print out the HTML title if it exists. If not, it'll print out this. And I'm going to change the new tag, the project HTML one, to be like project plain or something, and that one will print out this. So the idea is that everybody should have one of these set. You know, if you're going to have a title, you're going to have this title set. It's only if you want a special title do you do this. And then similarly in the template, the idea is that if you want to use a title, most of the time you're going to want to be able to use the HTML one. But rather than actually saying that you want to choose the HTML one, we just say that the default is that the project prints out the HTML thing, if it exists. And there are cases where you can't do that, so you have to actually specify the plain one. So that's that. And then the other thing is to actually make the generate search page people able to omit this HTML title. So that'll require us to pass the project down to it, basically. So those are those 3 things. This, the template tag, respecification, and the passing down passing down this project to the generate search page function. So let's go for it. I should just step through this just to double check that it is actually doing what I expect it to do. So that is right, isn't it? Cinera C, you don't want 0. Yeah, I think that's how you run it. So we're going to go to here. Just watch what it does. So it couldn't get a global theme. Is that true? Make string Cinera. Assets CSS. I mean, that did fail, didn't it? If we couldn't get an asset, push assets to global theme. Hold on. Do it again. Okay, so it has managed to get it. So we get out of there. Might actually just change that to be global, just so we're not confusing ourselves with stuff. So push theme. What have we done so far? We've pushed the support icon assets. Apparently there's 14 assets already, so those are the built-in ones. Okay. So it pushes the global, and the idea is it's going to go through all the projects. Let's see what this does. This then does that. So it's been passed a project. Been passed hero. Tries to get it, and then does it have children? It does the same again. So it goes over this guy's children. Yeah, this is totally right. Did I jump out? Yeah. And then it goes over probably risky. Yeah, I'm satisfied that that's correct. Just wanted to be a bit careful of it. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing was the template. Right, so I'm going to change this to be project plain. And then in the this is then going to say if it's plain, it copies into buffer the current project's HTML title. And this is going to say this. Actually, I reckon we need to change this out a bit actually. That's what I wanted. Yeah. Yeah, I do think that's correct. Alright. Let's just try running this to see what it produces for us. Now we should find that the global page, this one, won't have been integrated, and it's not. If we go to risky, we should see that this guy has been integrated, and it has been integrated. Risky business. Now, Cinera project, Cinera nav dropdown. Okay, so there's our H1 class, span risky business, and then we've got the Cinera project there. So let's take a gander. Yep, perfect. So there's Cinera project has given us that, and the project plane has given us this. Perfect. All right. So I need to remember to actually change that in the templates, in the real templates. change the alright, so yeah. Just on this. And that thing that I just did, respecifying that for that template tag was something I just thought of last night after doing this, after closing the stream. So get generate search page, able to omit the P title. Right, so they've got that there. Right, so here we go. P. I'm going to say that the P is going to be stored P, aren't I? Actually, let me just change that first. Where is my cursor? Oh, it's in the comments. Still going. Current browser tab. Current project rather. Interesting. Alright, that's your lot. So having done that, generate filters, I need to pass here this. So yeah, if we have a stored P, filter is required. Otherwise, we need to locate that stored P. Okay, yeah. The P, does the P contain its parent? If the P contains its parent, mind you, Oh, we need a way to whisper it through, don't we? That's unfortunate, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it'd be handy actually. If we did it the opposite way around. So if we passed the project, I then located the project in the database based on the project index. Because that's something that we can do. We don't store anything like that in the project. In the DB header project. Okay, this guy knows about the project, as I say. And yeah, like I say, it doesn't know. It doesn't know like which child it is of its parent. It doesn't know that, and it also doesn't know who its next sibling is. Whereas when we're talking about this, DB header products.p. Well, actually, yeah, how does that know? Oh, it's the project and its children. Whereas this one is the project's block. Aha. So this is our answer here. We don't need to know anything about our parents. Just give us 2 minutes. just a bit of domestic stuff to deal with. Let's also cue up some more music. What have I got any Junior 44's stuff? Oh, I haven't got any Junior 44 music on here at all. Blimey. Gosh, who was I thinking about? I mean, I guess I could listen to some Sleaford Mods actually. This is in FLAC, isn't it? Yeah, let's get some FLAC on. How much is that? It's 28 mins. Is that FLAC? No. That is. I'm sure there's a Sleaford Mods album that was recently. Yeah. It's not FLAC, but let's get it on anyway. That's FLAC. That gives an hour and 6. Let's queue up English Tapas and Eating Alive. There we go. Got an hour and 45. There we go. Is that enough for you? So, for these functions, we we want to generate the filter of the project and its children. Unfortunately for us, the project yeah, we will actually use this. So the entry count is only part of the stored P. The DB header project and the P are already synchronized. We do that on startup, right? Which means that we can actually use the same child count for both things. So I mean, for all that actually, we can just do this in here actually. Now before I go on, I did just change that, didn't I? Or I didn't. Right, stored P, stored child. Okay. Right. Hang on, pressure for you. This title could use the P. And that's all that goes on there. The general index of projects and children. do need to make sure I'm not getting out of the function here. Things probably should not be working. I don't think I've told everybody to pass the right things yet. Oh, not that actually. Search to buffer. Oh, right, yeah, of course. Right, generate a play page. So this is actually going to be taking the current project. Right, that's how that one will pass it. And this guy is this generate search page, isn't it? So this passes the P. And finally, the generate the global search page will pass nothing, won't it? Same as this. Yeah, that's perfect. Alright, so it seems like this isn't really very in-depth at all. We pass that stuff through to search to buffer. Right. This P here. Let's just change it to be child. now that we're passing the P, we could also just use that guy's thing directly, actually. So we'll do that. If the PHDL title actually, now let's think about it. So think. Entry count. We need that. Okay, fine. I was going to say that if we didn't need like if we weren't writing out anything from the stored P, we could just prevent it from taking the stored P. But we are. And the only thing was the base URL and the title. Fine. So then down here, just use the P theme. Base URL, wasn't it? Output location. How's it all doing so far? Alright. So it's the player URL. What's that actually saying? Strip from string starts. It's producing a new string from a string. Okay, fine. The number is something we've just computed up here somewhere. Yeah, it's fine, so just do that locally. Alright, so the only thing I'm a bit unsure about here, again, this is the index, so we need to have the entry count so we can actually output entries. Locate first entry and then entry, so yeah. Yeah, and again, this stuff isn't stored in the config, it's just stored in the database. So yeah, it's just this, isn't it? The output location. Yeah. It will be the player location, won't it? There's the player location there. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Entry output location. There's nothing we can do about that. Because that's part of the entry. Right, yeah. Jesus. Alright, so I think that's everything really. So we don't have a filter in here. Oh, hang on, what happened there? Risky business. Oh, that's not right. Oh, I know why. Yeah. Should be saying that there. I don't think, at least. I should just be setting it here. Stick it under there, actually. I'm not sure if that second change will get picked up, by the way. You know, while this was generating. Okay, yeah, it picked it up. Fine. Oh, hang on a minute. I wonder, actually. Let's try this. Because if this works, this will be pretty handy. So HTML title for risky at the outer scope, that's going to propagate down into the project risky. And it was propagating down into book and people, but we don't actually want it to. So what happens if we do this? Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what you'd like to have happen. So you can set it, let it propagate down through a few people, and then null it out. And prevent that from screwing up other people. So that's for the book club. Right. Brilliant. So this now looks a bit more sensible. Computer precision down, risk 5 reader, and that's how they look in there. We need to look under risky. So this is generated as a thing. Oh, it doesn't have to generate the filter. Oh, hang on a second. We should have the filter here, shouldn't we? Yeah, we do. So the colours are scrambled, but just bear with us. What we should see somewhere is risky business. Yeah, perfect. So here we're getting Cinera text as risky business. Now, this is, I think, is a case of this not having been regenerated. For some reason, I think this is the main thing that we need to have a look at. It's now sent to actually debug. So we're looking at this value here. Remember, we set the HTML title for Project Risky. So we should hopefully see this look like this. We still don't, so is that because I've screwed up something in the code? Oh, actually, no. Yeah, what's happened actually here, which you don't actually want to happen, this sets it here, it propagates down through risky, and then it gets reset down here. But in resetting it, that makes this project's HTML title this, basically. So you can't quite do what I was hoping. You would have to do it separately for each person. That would be how you do that. Well, I suppose another way actually. No, now that I think about it. So HTML title up here, let it propagate through risky. Set it to be nothing there, so the book and people don't get it. And then set it back again after you've processed it. The book people and Miscellaneous. You know, you could do it that way, couldn't you? Yeah, and that way it comes through. I mean, that's working as expected. And that's a way to do that, basically. Yeah, again, the colouring is garbage. Oh, it's because it's global, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah, global. Let's just use a sensible... Let's just use somebody that we've actually got style for. So we can at least see it. See how risky business would look like this. Alright, so yeah, so that is working as I would hope it to work. But why is this coming through and everything? The reason it isn't actually integrated, by the way, is that the template is considered to be invalid because we use a Cinera project plane. Basically, you can't use project. Excuse me. You can't use project variables in the global thing. So I just get rid of those. And regenerate. should find this is integrated. Yeah, just perfect. Perfect. Now you could do sort of a thing where, well, either you just let it go, you let it get generated and it just generates nothing, or you could do a thing that's like if the project plane has some value, or if it's valid in this template, then print out that, followed by that. Otherwise, don't. You know, you could do something like that, but I don't think I will do. At least, certainly not now. It's a possibility for the future, though, when we go and look at the template stuff. So we're not watching zero list changes, right? Nor are we storing template info in the database. I'm going to just unilaterally say that we're not going to do that for this release. We're going to postpone that for a future release. But this is something I need to look at. And I think this is the final thing I need to investigate. Again, the templates. It's something to think about, I think. So yeah, we generate search page for registers showing a role in deleted which itself contains no entries. The reason we're struggling to do this at the moment is that we want to base our HTML file generation on the database, but the database does not contain the template information in its path, basically. So, is that a problem for us anymore? So what we're arguing is, do the template stuff, storing that in the database, then come back and do the search page for generation. We want to base our HTML file generation on the database. Now remember, we just passed the P, as in the project, to that function, didn't we? Projects whose children have all been deleted. Projects whose children have all been deleted. Actually, does Bitwise have any entries? No. Didn't think it would. There we go, pending Bitwise. Oh yeah, we just changed the template back. And there's Bitwise's entries. Day 00. Now, this guy's parent doesn't have a title. That's why that's looking like that. I mean, I feel like suggesting to the Handmade Network dudes that we just say that bitwise is not contained within a project. Because the way that we do it at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, if we look at episode bitwise, episode bitwise 000. Right. Then if we look at hero, right, this is episode code day 001. Right. So the format is basically the same. Code is within hero. Bitwise, similarly for symmetry, is within something. It's within bitwise. And that is, well, look at that actually. Overview and QAMP A. I think that's just because they don't know how to do it. Well, they just, well, they don't HTML sanitize it basically. We could just use bitwise as template for now. Sorry, well, this might exist actually. Ah, interesting. So it dies fully. Let's just make it use riskies. Right. So we've just changed invalid template to be one of the cases it doesn't actually exit. Right, so it hasn't died. But similarly, it will be an invalid template, so it won't integrate into it. Oh, hang on a minute. Now think about it. The templates are actually... Oh, right, Cinera templates. so that doesn't actually exist. Well, we can just make one, can't we? Who cares? Right, switch to template test. So we've got Cinera includes Cinera CSS, and rather than search, it's a Cinera player. This nav, we don't need this anymore. Well, I mean, the dropdown itself actually already contains it. Right. Kind of funny actually. The config triggers the regen, but the template changes don't. So you can kind of use the config as a way to trigger changes. Template player test. So, still no dice, is there? Oh. Yeah, I wonder if I should actually change that. Basically, the thinking behind that is to allow you to put the menus wherever you like, above or below the player, basically. So we've got Bitwise Risky Business and Book Club. It's title, isn't it, that we actually want to be looking at. That's all we're trying to test. We're just trying to test the HTML safety of it, basically. Yeah, overview and Q&A. Right. Overview and AMP. Q AMP. Yeah, so that's what that's looking like. Where's the nav? This should be the nav, shouldn't it? Ah, hold on. Cinera nav drop down. Yeah, so we actually do this. I reckon we've totally forgotten to include this in the thing, haven't we? Yeah, we are. So yeah, when we're packing the template, I reckon when we pack, well, we do say that. Requires no drop.js. Template metadata requires no drop.js. just remove a bunch of stuff from the config, so we don't need to generate quite so much stuff. So it just has to generate bitwise quickly. Really, we passed a bespoke template. For the overview and Q&A. Is that true? So there shouldn't be a template for this file. Yeah, I suppose that's true, isn't it? It's always going to have a value. How did I not spot that earlier? Well, I suppose one way of handling that actually, rather than checking if bespoke template has been passed to us, just say tag to counts. Yeah, that might be the test we need to do actually. Because way up above in public main, we've said that there's going to be this space for the bespoke template. I'm just going to pass that space around to all the people who might want to use it. So when you pack a bespoke template, you use that space to put stuff in. Yeah, I think that's what you do. So the bespoke template, I mean, you could also talk about the validity, really. If the tag count is greater than 0, actually, what will happen here? This will try and pack. If we've got errors, we free and we get out of there. We know they're packing for bespoke. So yeah, I think we're within our rights to just say if the tag count is greater than 0, and then if it requires an nav drop down, we set that to true. Otherwise, we do that. What? Oh, sorry, metadata. Yeah. All right. So let's quit. Run again. Run to here. We should fail this. Yeah. So does it require a nav drop down? It does. If it requires a nav drop down, then it pushes that stuff on. Perfect. So all of that is just made. So where's this? This is the nav drop down. Wasn't working because we hadn't actually included that piece of information. When we now reload, this should work. Yeah, it does. Because we now have this line. Yeah, perfect. Wow, good job we tried that, wasn't it, as well? Right, so we were just looking, weren't we, at the HTML safety of this ampersand. We then looked at this. we removed all of that. We commented out this stuff to make that generator quicker. So yeah, where are we up to? Right, this. We were trying to do this. We generated a reservoir produces children have all been deleted. So let's comment out hero and work on risky. Okay, so the basic idea here is here we've got risky business. Oh well, this is the global page. Here's the risky page with all of this. The argument is when we delete projects such that there are no projects remaining, the suggestion is that this page get deleted, and it's not being, right? I think this is leading to a garbage page, yeah. So that's where we're at. So good that it's still working. It's still not working, rather. So we need to investigate why. Basically, if I run afresh, so it's generated afresh, I think this now gets deleted. No, okay, so it never gets deleted, which is fine. And basically, these guys never come back. I'm just trying something actually. Try to quit and fully regen. Alright, of course it never gets deleted. And I can just prove that it doesn't exist because that's it. So you got risky and its children don't exist. So the question is like, where's it getting this information from? And where it's getting it from is it's just a byproduct of the fact that it hasn't actually touched this file. So we need to get this information back in so that it actually knows about it. So technically this has been regenerated. Save this, and then what we're saying is syncdb, I think is what it is. Yeah, it is actually syncdb with input, I think. Actually, could be syncdb. Oh, one moment, just before I do this actually, I've just remembered another thing. You know they generate navigation top level. Right, this generate navigation. Generate global navigation recursively. I wonder. Oh no, it can't be actually, can it? So that's an answer. I was just wondering if it's exactly the same as generate navigation recursively. So you've got the generate navigation bars, which calls the generate navigation bars recursively, and then we've got the generate global, which calls the generate global navigation bars recursively. Yeah, okay, it can't, because it needs to pass the config. Can't be the same. It's very similar, I think. Right, if we look at the generate navigation recursively and the generate global navigation bars recursively, it's very similar. Oh yeah, the current thing, we don't have that. So there is a bit of difference. But there's lots of similarity. Target P and config C, yeah. Yeah, we just straight up can't compress them. So yeah, so what we're looking at here, what we're trying to see is where we should actually handle this. Deletion of a thing. Remove dirt, maybe? Remove. So we do have remove directory and children. So nobody calls this. Delete dead DB entries. Richard directory. Delete dead DB entries. So yeah, this knows to basically what we've managed to delete. So we have this page here. We are able to delete this page. Right, I'll just kind of show that happening. At least I hope I'll be able to show that happening. Oh, it's gone already. Oh, okay, so that kind of helps, doesn't it? So sync DB with import. Ah, let's actually get that to happen again. Let's let it continue. Can I do a breakpoint? I can't do a breakpoint. Can I do one now? Yeah. Alright, so sync DB. Right, we have generated this. We're deleting these guys. So here we go. We're deleting projects. I'll tell you what. It might just be here, mightn't it? At this point, having deleted the projects, if there's no children left, delete this file, maybe. This still exists, doesn't it? Yeah. Does it still exist? Oh, it's gone. So, oh, sorry. Delete HTML files of products of children. So that was the function that did that. I mean, dude, do you just say? That's probably all it is, isn't it, actually? Right. Here. I think it's here, isn't it? If the child count is 0, then just delete that file. I do think that would be kind of right. What was it called? Why do you have to access it like that? Oh, it's a pointer to a pointer. Okay. So I think this should delete our person for us. Oh yeah, I need to actually rerun the decoding. Yeah. So that's nuked that for us. We still have this though. Yeah, so this needs to somehow get deleted. Also, generate search page. I feel like I want to just check out. Neighborhood and collision buffers. Do we have that available? No, we don't have anything like that. This guy has the neighborhood and collision buffers. Yeah, I guess you could say, couldn't you? After syncing the global pages with import, you just go ahead and go generate that global search page. Well, hold on. That does it anyway. That's, well. Stored global search to... if this, if that else, hang on, if the project global search directory is blank, delete that global search page from file system. Oh, hold on a second. In deleting the HTML page, don't I actually need to update the landmarks? Yeah, it does seem like I probably have to do that, doesn't it? Delete global search page from file system. No, hang on a second. Oh, hold on. Delete search page from file system. I think I should have used that actually. I'm going to come back to this. But where did they delete HTML files? It was remove search page, wasn't it? Delete search page from file system. And when we do a delete search page from file system, oh. Ah, I see. That actually does it. So I beg your pardon. In fact, this isn't right. Again. I don't think. Just because it's got no children doesn't necessarily mean you need to delete the page. Because it might have entries. Generate search page. Aha. So that's all you do, delete landmarks from search. So that's easy enough, fortunately. Okay. Let's say do we have the P index actually? We've got the project C. Yeah, that is the right thing. I hope, at least. So we're saying if the chunk is 0, I think that should be more like it. S child. Just make sure that we're talking about the right people here. Yeah, I reckon we are. The S child is going to be the same person that we pass in. Right. It's the grandchildren that are getting moved along. So yeah, this person and this person should be the same people. I think. Is that true? Sync projects. We're trying to sync this. The C child count. This is its child. So if the C child, so if the configured child and the stored grandchild match, if we haven't located an insert present into DB, the S child equal the. Yeah. I think we're talking about the same people here, because you've got like the S child and the C. I think these guys are equivalent. So when we delete the search page from file system for this S child, this should be the guy that's Nat's talking about, I think. Yeah, I think that would be right. It's a bit confusing, this, because you're dealing with stuff that's stored in the database and stuff that's newly configured. You know, we're just trying to sync all this stuff up. So we're going to generate this. That's been newly generated. Now we remove that. And it hasn't managed to delete it this time. Is that expected? Ah, beg your pardon. Wrong thing. We haven't actually handled the other guy yet. I'll just do that again. Right, so that's that. Right, so that's gone. And I'm supposed to be just 100% sure that we're doing what we're expected to be doing here. Let's just jump into it. And where is it? It's here. We should pass this. Well, oops. We're talking about risky. Oh, hold on, we're talking about risky, are we? Yeah, we're talking about risky. So we actually need to, well, have we deleted this yet? No, unfortunately. That's probably book, isn't it? Risky book, yeah. Okay. So now we're probably talking about, well, actually, probably talking about risky now, actually. Risky book again. I guess we went in and did the children. This is now risky risk. Alright, so this is the last guy. The last child of risky. The star child. They still... oh, they're not delete thing. Well, that'll explain it. Yeah, let's try that again. Let's just make sure I'm actually going to get somewhere. I think about that breakpoint still set. Oh, I don't know. So that breakpoint is still set. Commenting out these people. It's not hitting that breakpoint. So this shouldn't be 0. No. But I mean, this should be. Yeah. So that still exists. What is S child? We think it's risky. whose base directory is test risky, right, which is this person here. So we do need to actually delete the landmarks, but stepping over this should delete this file, shouldn't it? Alright, it does. Right, yeah. So we're going to do it in the same way. Child count and edge count up on line 12183 something. This is the top level one. So I reckon we should still pass that test. Perfect. So yeah, this exists now. Jump over, and it no longer exists. Bang on. So the thing that we're missing is deleting this page. So yeah, but basically what I was saying was, after we've synced all the projects, top level, after we sync the DB, I mean, unless, another way of saying it actually, anytime we have to delete somebody, just generate all of the search pages, or just generate the, delete the current one, and then generate the global search page. But we're here, aren't we? Come back to this. So yeah, let's just see what this logic is again. if the global search directory has been set to nothing, delete that global search in file system, but in landmarks for search of the neighborhood pointers. If on the other hand, it has some length, and it differs from what it was previously, then we need to move the global search page. I reckon after having done all of this, Yeah, that'll just be literally just be a move. So it'll be moving the same thing into the new place. I reckon whatever happens, if we've got a string length of that global search directory, just straight up generate it. I reckon that's what you need to do. So basically what we're talking about here is generating this, essentially. Yeah, and it might, I reckon, in trying to do a search with buffers, we might get a no op, and it has to delete the global search file system. Fingers crossed, that's what it'll do. So in order to trigger this, we need to actually get the thing back into the config. Was that because I think because I wasn't actually removing asset landmarks correctly, I reckon I've just screwed up the database. I hope that's all that's happened there. Interesting. So, delete stale assets. Just trying to do a read. As we did update the neighborhood pointers, I guess that might possibly have something to do with it. It's possible actually that the C index isn't set yet, honestly. Yeah. Identity generation. That's where that happens. So we don't actually have the index set correctly yet. I don't think. Let's just jump into that. I have to delete the database actually. this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, it's probably definitely wrong. Yeah. Now, is that necessarily true though? Oh. Well, that ain't right. That block ID should be something. We're not far enough in. What's that? I mean, I guess we just say, did it actually locate it? Rather than trusting the signpost. To 186. So saying here and here. That's more like it. So yeah, that's simply a case of that signpost not being set correctly. I mean, I suppose we could do that, couldn't we? But then it's a case of, well, if that was wrong, what else might be wrong? So this guy actually fixes up the signposts. I think it's the bytes through buffer which determines something, doesn't it? right from byte to end. Delete project interior. Byte. Well, what's ppos? So this is saying byte is 0. Write from byte to pointer, so we're writing from the beginning of the file to the parent. The new parent is equal to that parent dereference. We're going to decrement its count. By 1. We're going to write out that new parent, the size of it, and then we're going to move our byte that far. Delete project interior, then comes in. We know what the bytes of buffer are, so this is saying to write from the current, right from the byte that this got up to this child, and then at this point we're saying that the edit position is right here. Okay. The accumulate file size is saying it's basically talking about the edit size, really. Delete HTML files of pros and children. Right. So effectively this is going to be saying it's going to end up with a negative number, which stands for deletion. After child, take away the child. So that is just saying that we've deleted this much information. The bytes through buffer, we need to increment that through the buffer to the end of the child. Now, is that right? I think the key thing here is simply the edit size. We know that we've deleted this much information from there. I don't know, maybe let's just run it and just see if it succeeds. Well, that's not right, is it? What's that saying? DB metadata file buffer pointer. Oh, I'll tell you what. I think I just haven't, I straight up haven't touched this file, I don't think. Delete that much, can't be right. So we've been told what the asset is, are we? That's told what the asset is. Interesting. I'll tell you what, let's do this in a similar way actually. Do we need to cast that? I think we might not have to. But it does that, and then that was saying locate first landmark, wasn't it? Sorry. Okay, so it does that. Well, hang on. Where is this exactly? This seems to be in the middle of nowhere, doesn't it? Right past the assets header. Let me just generate it a minute. Right, so this is saying, here's your assets block. This is where they all they are basically. This is where they all are, and then this is the first asset. Right. I'm going to say I'm going to get the actual asset here, and yeah, let's get it and print it out, and then let's step in and then get it again and print that out and see what that looks like. So yeah, built it. Right, that looks fine. And that looks fine. Okay, I'll just print that. That's garbage. So for some reason, this DB metadata file buffer pointer is just set in a place where we just don't really expect it to be. Like, where is that? That's there. I mean, two A80, two ED6. I could believe that that's within. It is within the file, I would imagine. So give us 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I'll just continue looking at this for a bit. Probably just do 20 minutes more. The length of Limbo's soundtrack. And then I'll probably just call it a day. And resume this in the next session. And it looks like we might not actually be releasing quite as soon as I kind of hoped. But that's fine. So let's have a look at where the metadata pointer was last touched. So yeah, we're in syncdb syncpros.level. Obviously. Now, we seem to be in the middle of nowhere, didn't we, if you remember? It's nothing, right? Nothing's all the way down. It's Sean, which kind of suggests that we're probably in this region here, right? Apart from that, but probably somewhere here, or here, I guess. Actually, here's an idea. What is this? Take away sorry. Oh no. Yeah, bollocks. Bolocchios. Let me just so unfortunate. Those keys just right next to each other. So just quit that. So I think that stopped. I don't even know if that stopped the program. Remove this and that. Put that back in. This is just built. Now run. We shouldn't hit any of this because we're not deleting. But now we should hit it because we are deleting. So asset. Okay. So let's try that one more time. That take away that is that much. So what is the size of this? So we are at least within the buffer, which is good to know. Now, because I've opened the file for writing, I can't actually look at the file anymore, which is sad. But we're saying we're 1,116 things with jigs into it. And how about the asset? So where should we be? Oh, yeah. So the asset's blocked, let's just say. So 844, and we should be sitting just after it, basically. Can we do this? So the asset's blocked apparently 512 bytes, is that right? Could that be right? I mean, we're talking about all this information, and there's a reserve of 154, so... Oh, it's all this information, yeah, so I guess... So 512... We're saying that we should be sitting at 1356, but we're actually sitting at 1116, so we're 240 bytes too early. Actually, let me just refer back to this bit, delete project interior. Yeah, this doesn't seem to bother, does it? With the database, with the DB metadata buffer pointer. Does it? Which I think suggests that we might as well not bother ourselves in the delete landmarks for search. You know, so wherever it's saying Oh, so here we go. Oh, Jesus. I see. The DB message is a signpost asset block. That was our problem before, wasn't it? We determined that that was garbage at this point. Right. So that's probably our problem. So having set that assets block pointer and set our metadata file buffer pointer to that pointer, and then incremented past the assets, we're then going to say open the database metadata file dot path, and we're going to write from the beginning of it to the pointer. Right, which does what we want. So then we can say this. The assets block is that. That will be correct. Yeah, I suppose the only thing that's troubling me really is it's the signposts business. Basically, the point of these signposts, the pointers into the file, into the metadata file, and the point of them is, the point of the pointers is simply to save you having to do this locate block business. So basically the gist is you locate the blocks once, set the assets, set the signposts to be where those things are, and then whenever you do an edit to the file, you just update the assets, you update the signposts pointers to kind of line up with the amount of editing that you did. I mean, that's basically the idea. And then when you cycle the signpost file, you have to actually tell it how much you've edited, haven't you? By position and the size. Yeah, the edit. Yeah, it's this. So you're talking about this, the signpost edit. What is the file signpost? Yeah. So using that to determine how much to offset the guys. But anyway, I think now that we're doing that, hopefully, in fact I won't, yeah, I'll quit. Hopefully, it's now actually going to be producing the right thing, hopefully. I think. I will just step in though, step through it. Oops. pretty sure this is what we were talking about, wasn't it? So now that looks correct. That's just that. So we printed out the asset. The previous landmark count was 2. It's now down to 1 for some reason. Because we're deleting the landmarks for this search page. Yeah. So that wasn't. Well, actually, is that right? Now I think about it. Yeah, I suppose it could be actually, because there's no entries. This is the global page, which is still existing erroneously. So I reckon these assets here are simply being used on the global page, basically. So yeah, we've got to delete landmarks for search. This is the sync project's top level. Okay, so these two things are now doing what they should be doing, I reckon. And then here, this should have happened, shouldn't it? We should have tried to generate it, shouldn't we? Sync global page with input. Yeah, let's just now quickly, just before we all go home, let's just now see what this is talking about. So it's going to generate this lot. Oops. Look at that. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never had that before. So yeah, when we get to here, oh. Oh, right. That's saying what? If there's no string length. What? It was saying this. If the project's block global search directory, like in what world would that be the right test? Because that's what it used to be. It used to just be an else if, right? I didn't change the logic. If that, else if, so basically if we've cleared out the string, I mean that just seems like complete nonsense, doesn't it? Stored global search data. Yeah, it's nonsense. Sorry. Now, what does this actually have to do? I think what I was sort of saying was that search to buffer would happen, and it would say that would go down to no op, basically, was what I was sort of hoping. Yeah, it does. Right. So let's just jump into this now. Just double check it. So no, I'm not kind of one. Now, I think we have a bit of a situation here actually. We're going to end up with assets that don't have any entries. And is that fine? What about assets that don't have any landmarks, rather? So cycle samples file, that is written out the file now. So here they are. And what are we looking at here? So we've got some information here. Got this and this. They look suspiciously like... Okay, yeah, so they're numbers. That's going to be -1. I think that's incorrect still. I do think that's not right. This is the very last thing I'm going to do. After having done all of this lot, just delete the database. So those are our -1s. These are referring to the search page. And -10 is saying the global search page. So what we're basically saying is the Cinera.js asset is used on the global search page. The global search page. It's used on the generation 1 index 0 search page, generation 1's index 2 search page, the generation 2 index 0 search page, the generation 2 index 1 search page. Okay. Now, I think I have to rerun actually, because I don't think I probably put that printout in the places used in both places. Now it's saying that the risky search page, that's what that's saying. Generation 0, index 0. So the global search page is gone, which is fine. All these lemmas are gone, which is perfectly fine. What this is basically suggesting to us is that this file exists, but it doesn't. I think we're way off the beaten track here, by the way. It's syncdb, isn't it? Isn't it? Gosh. Well, hang on. Oh, initdb. No, it wasn't this. Definitely wasn't this. Yeah, it was somewhere in syncdb. These happen. It was in here, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go. Delete search page from file system and delete landmarks for search. Actually, this would just be to delete the global search page. Isn't it? Which I suppose we will have to do also. But by the same token, after you've done the sync DB, right, after doing this and all of this, you finally do the sync labels pages with import. And we generate it. And if we generate it, this is working right. Delete search page from file system. Delete items for search to enable pointers. That gets the global search page. Delete global search page. So I think we're doing all the same stuff. I said that would be the last thing, didn't I? So I'm going to stick to my word and call it a day. But we need to finish doing this. Regenerate search pages for previous children have all been deleted. I mean, it's not actually to that. All we're doing is we're deleting. Or are we? It's kind of this. But where we're up to is we don't think the assets have all been deleted correctly. I mean, that's basically the point, really. If you look at this, I mean, yeah, we're actually not deleting risky correctly. Because risky.index should have been deleted, so we're still not really handling this properly. This is referring to risky, and this is referring to it's referring to riskies first. No, this is referring to book. Yeah, so we're just not doing it quite right. I think we're getting there, but we're just missing a bit of information or a bit of instructions. So yeah, we'll be going for 3 hours and 8 minutes. So I'm going to call it there, and I'm going to continue looking at this tomorrow. Basically, I think we know how to do it, don't we? Generate with entries, or generate with children, and then generate without children, and make sure the asset landmarks all get deleted. So yeah, thank you very much, Heroes and Heroines, for being here, for being beautiful and fantastic. And correct, I guess. Until next time, farewell for now.